All right, today we're talking about the basic shapes of drawing. When you're drawing, the basic shapes that you're going to run into are the block format, which is a block could be either rectangle or square. You're going to run into the triangular format, which is a triangle, of course, and it includes cones and things like that. And then you're going to run into circles, which circles are one of the hardest things to get down, and even at my level, they take some practice. Very few people can draw a perfect circle, and it's just practice. The faster you do it, of course, the cleaner it'll look. But that's why people use ellipses and templates and things like that when they're drawing. So these basic shapes, these three basic shapes here, are a tendency to pretty much create everything you're ever drawing from. And it's these shapes that's what you start out as, because the basic block turns into a 3D form of a cube, and it's still the same conceptual idea. The cone can turn in, or the triangle turns into either a pyramid or a cone, and that's just mixing the two. And the ball, of course, turns into a ball, and I'm going to redraw that one just because it started looking horrible. And the ball turns into a ball. All right. And now with these basic shapes, you don't really start understanding these basic shapes until you start putting some sort of a tonal value to it. And so what I mean by that is some sort of light source. So you're looking at these shapes, and this cube doesn't really look like a cube until I put a little bit of a shadow on there. So if I put a little bit of a shadow on there, something like that, this starts looking 3D now. Now, even though I'm just scribbling it in there, it starts giving it form. Same thing with the triangle. I add that little bit of shadow and shape in there, and it starts giving it form. It starts adding in dimension to it. And that's really what this is all about. And so when you look at a sphere, you're going to get a light source that's kind of going to look something like that, and then you're going to get another sphere shadow underneath it. And so that is the basic gist of what your primitive shapes are. Now, when you're doing this, you have to realize that all your primitive shapes, no matter what you're doing, all stem from these objects. So you can draw a human figure, or I can draw a boat. And with the boat, I can just start shaping it like so. And from there, it's just a matter of, always drawing the hidden lines and getting that idea of, what's going on with it. So it's about sketching, it's about creating what you're thinking about it with these basic shapes. As you can see, let me shrink my eraser. As you can see, just by going in here, I've created now a basic idea of what I'm going to work with. And it's all about going in, creating the ideas, and the basic shapes. So from there, I've just created this basic shape, and it doesn't look like much. It's it's just a couple of shapes put together. But as you start adding and defining these shapes a little bit more, you can get a lot more interesting shapes going on. And then you can put in your other basic shapes. And it's just a matter of getting your ideas down and blocking in your ideas. And that's really what it's about. It's about your your general form, your general ideas, putting in these concepts and blocking everything out. And going in and cleaning up and drawing more line work and solidifying the line work that you have. So as you can see, I went from these basic shapes. Now I have something a little bit more advanced. And I can go in and clean that up and keep working on it. And I can put in other basic shapes. So something like this. Okay? And that's where the basic shapes come in. It's just about connecting the shapes together. A human is nothing more than blocking in a couple shapes. Something like so. And that's really what it's about. So I hope that helps.